York and here in Ohio takes very seriously is how do we look at these economic issues and how do we evaluate the trade-offs, the costs, the benefits, the risks, and come up with an evaluation that both brings in the jobs and the money that we need in New York or in Ohio, but also does it in a way that's safe, protects our natural resources, protects our land, protects our water, and most importantly, protects our public health. Because as we all know, we need water to survive. As long as our water is clean, no problems. So the state is trying to look at how do we do this in the most responsible way possible. And a few of the things that I think are worth noting here, and I don't know how much folks here follow oil and gas markets, but one of the problems that some of my students and I found when we were going through this document has to do with the economic arguments. And I point this out not to make a positive or negative, but to say, particularly if you're a homeowner looking at leasing or thinking about leasing or in an area where leases are coming out, it's important to think about how much is being offered to you for your lease. Are you getting a percentage of royalties on a barrel or on the amount that's coming out? But more importantly, how are the economic arguments being presented, in this case by the state, when they're advocating for more opening of exploration, either in public or private lands, but particularly for public lands since that's what the state manages. So for an example, in New York, one of the estimates that was done, that was incorporated into this document for the economic analysis was speculating that we might be able to get $5 to $6 for a trillion cubic foot of gas on the market. And certain estimates were made, well, producing over a certain amount of time, a certain amount of volume would then bring in a certain amount of revenue. So as a landowner, as an example, you might expect to get anywhere between $500,000 to $1 million over a 30-year period for a very actively producing well. It was one of the estimates they gave out. The challenge, when you start looking at the numbers though, is that that's based on a $5 to $6 market price for gas. And right now, I haven't checked it this week, but it was closer to about $3.50. So we need to be really careful when we're looking at the economics, whether it's private or state numbers, to make sure that the numbers they're projecting, how much gas is selling for in the market, what type of gas it is, actually meets what's really in the ground there. Because remember, and this is a little bit different between Ohio and New York, because New York currently has a moratorium that the governor imposed on drilling while the state was revising these documents. Whereas in Ohio, that's not the case. Drilling has been ongoing. So it's important to think about, are we getting a fair price, either as a landowner or as public on our land for the oil or gas, particularly in this case, the gas that's coming out? And if not, who's making those economic calculations? Because if we, technically now I'm a New York taxpayer, but as an Ohio taxpayer, if you're not getting the full value of the gas that's in the ground, but we're still bringing it up, then we're not benefiting fully from our own resources. So it's important to sort of make sure the state is accountable in its operations with contractors so that the public's not being short-sighted. But at the same time, we also need to think about how do we go about, and this is a bigger problem than not just Ohio faces, but all states face, how do we go about finding this balance between the jobs we need, the oil and energy, gas that we need, and the belief that our environment, particularly water, is important and we need to make sure that we don't compromise the quality of our drinking water in that process.